Hi, everyone. For today's education topic, we will be discussing sugar. The outline for today's talk will encompass why we care about sugar in our diet, how much we currently consume versus what we should be consuming, sources of added sugar in our diet, and finally, ways to apply the information you've learned today. So why do we care about sugar in our diet? Well, while consuming too much sugar is associated with increased risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and cavities, a diet high in sugar has also been proven to raise your risk of heart disease regardless of your age, your gender, physical activity, or even your weight. So clearly, we want to make sure we're not overindulging in this sweet treat. Unfortunately, if we take a look at how much most people are consuming, we can clearly see that most people are caving into their sweet tooth. An average individual consumes 26 teaspoons of sugar, or essentially half a cup, every day. This means we're consuming 3 or 4 times more sugar than we should, as the World Health Organization recommends we consume less than 10% of our calories from added sugar, or a maximum of 6 teaspoons per day for women and 9 teaspoons per day for men. Now, on my slide up here, you can see those are heaping teaspoons, but that's not actually what we're recommending. We want those teaspoons to be level. So some of the sugar that we consume is naturally found in foods such as fruits, vegetables, and milk products. We don't worry too much about this sugar because along with the sugar, we get lots of nutrition. So you're going to be getting protein, vitamin D, and calcium from milk. You're also going to be getting fiber and vitamins and minerals from your fruits and vegetables. When we look at processed foods, the majority of sugar added to those foods is refined and devoid of any nutrition. So what exactly is added sugar? Well, when we think of that word added sugar, which is what we're most concerned with, we're thinking of sugar that offers very little nutritional value and is often added during processing. Think white sugar, brown sugar, high fructose corn syrup. We sometimes add this sugar ourselves, but the majority is already found in the foods that we purchase. If we take a look at where all this added sugar is coming from in our diets, you can see that more than 5 teaspoons per day is added, or 4 teaspoons per day is added ourselves. So we add this to our cereal. We might add it to our coffee or our tea in the morning. We're very aware of the sugar in our diet. The rest of the sugar that we consume is typically already found in food products. So here we're thinking of sugar sweetened beverages. So you can see from our soft drinks and our fruit drinks, we've got 7 teaspoons of added sugar from our sugar sweetened beverages. You can even up that a little bit more when we start including things like sweetened milks, energy drinks, sweetened coffees and teas. Now, another 5 teaspoons is coming from more of the food-based component. So 2/3 of the processed foods that we purchase, so the majority of processed foods that we purchase have added sugar to them, whether that's a sweet treat or a sugary item. So you might start thinking of sweetened cereals, baked goods, granola bars, even your flavored yogurts have quite a bit of added sugar to them, but also things that we wouldn't associate with being sweet. Barbecue sauce, salad dressings. These are actually going to add a little bit more sugar to our diet as well. On the other hand, when we look at our natural sources of sugar, so your fruit, your vegetables, your plain milk, or your plain yogurt, you can see in total we've only got 10 teaspoons coming from this category versus our previous slide. We see that there is 16 teaspoons coming from the added side of things. We actually want that flipped a little bit. So we want more sugar coming from those natural sources and less sugar coming from those processed sources. That means we're going to be getting more of the nutrition from food and less of the actual calories just coming from sugar. Now, what about the naturally occurring sources of sugar, such as honey, molasses, and maple syrup? Well, yes, they do have some nutritional value. You know, honey has antimicrobial properties, molasses contains some iron, maple syrup contains minerals. But ultimately, these are concentrated forms of sugar that don't offer a lot of nutritional value. I wouldn't want you to down mounds and mounds of maple syrup in order to get the minerals that you need per day. So if you like these forms of sugar, by all means, you can continue using them. Use honey in your tea, but be mindful that we don't want to go above 9 teaspoons per day for men, nor do we want to go above 6 teaspoons per day for women. So a few tips to take with you per day to help reduce your intake of added sugar. Try drinking water, unsweetened coffee or tea, or low-fat milk or sparkling water as your beverages, rather than pop or juice. Try flavoring your food with a little bit of cinnamon, nutmeg, maybe even some vanilla or ginger. Oftentimes, we can get away with eliminating sugar by adding some of these herbs or these flavorings, or we can at least reduce the amount of sugar that we add to our foods. Try adding fresh fruit to your plain yogurt. You'd be surprised at how much sweetness that fresh fruit will give you and offset a little bit of that tang or that tartness from that plain yogurt. Read your ingredient list. Specifically, I want you to look for anything that would indicate sugar, but also words that end in OSE, so things like glucose, fructose, or the word syrup. Those are common culprits to indicate added sugar. And if you like to bake, try reducing the sugar in your baked goods by about 50%. Most people won't notice a drastic difference in the end product. So thanks for joining us today. If you have any specific questions or would like to take a deeper dive into your own personal eating habits, feel free to book a consult with one of our registered dietitians. Thanks for listening.